What's up, guys?
What's going on?
How y'all doing?
Doing great. How are you?
We got Buddy and Jayson Frederick here, right?
That's it.
Southern Cove, retail, beer, alcohol, slushies,
Clothes,
gifts, T-shirts, hoodies, anything you can get, right?
That's it.
Cartersville, Georgia.
That's right.
Thanks for coming in, guys. This is awesome, man.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
I'm definitely gonna hit y'all spot up. We're not too far. This studio is not too far from your place, so I go to Cartersville a decent amount. So I'll come in there and have a slushie.
That'd be awesome.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So tell me a little bit about yourself, your past. You know how you got to open Southern Cove, and tell me about a little bit of the COVID story and all that. But let's start with you, buddy. What's your trade? Where did you come from?
Well, I was in the construction field for about, probably 25 years. I moved away from that into a hobby of mine, which was IT. I worked for an IT company for about a decade. Enjoyed it, but the company made some changes, and I was not as wild about the new changes as I had previously been. So I decided to move on out of that field. Then Jayson and I got together, and he'll tell you a little bit about his story. But we kind of got together and thought we would do some stuff
Over at Thanksgiving dinner and a beer.
We were sitting in Waffle House one day, and I remember looking at him thinking, we need to do something that doesn't involve us working for anyone else ever again. I don't know what that something is, but we need to figure that out.
Yeah.
It's why we call it burn the ship. So there's a time and a place for making that decision, and what you're doing is you're burning your ship and going, hey, I'm not turning back. I'm going to do this. It's an entrepreneur way, and then for the most part, everybody can pick that moment in time of when they did that. So I don't know if you know the story of this, but it's Cortez was fighting the Mexican armies, and he pulled his ship into the harbor. When his men got off of it, he burned it to ashes and said, we're either conquering or we're dying. So that's kind of what it is when you're an entrepreneur, and that's what Burn the Ship's all about. It's getting entrepreneurs together, talking, helping each other out, and then if we can help you out with some of our network, and you can help us out with some of your network, it's just a win-win situation. So Jayson, tell me about that Waffle House dinner and where you came from before.
Okay, so I think you got to get to the point to where your happiness is more important than your paycheck.
There you go.
And for him and I, it definitely reached that boiling point. I was surrounded by just absolutely atrocious leaders that were more of audiobooks on leadership than human beings. And I couldn't do it anymore. And I know that, he went through a similar situation with his company. But for 25 years, I was in retail. My latest job was a district manager for the state of Georgia on a big retailer. And, at the end of the day, I liked what I did. I just didn't like who I did it for. And I went home one day. I told my wife, we're going to be broke for a really long time.
There you go.
But one day we won't. And I have this idea. I've spoken with Dad. We're going to buy some pallets from Amazon, piece them out, sell them on Facebook, sell them in person out of the trunk of our car, go to flea markets. And, I'm excited about this. She looks at me. She's like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And then she actually...
It always stupid till it's not, right?
It is. And she actually followed that up with, and that'll never work.
Yep.
And, I'm like, well, maybe it won't. But, boy, I'm going to be happy doing it. So that's how we started. We went and we bought a pallet. It was blind. We didn't know what was in the boxes. We spent $400. We put in $200 a piece to buy this pallet. And thought, hell, we're going to open it up, see what's in the boxes, list it on Facebook Marketplace, sell it for half of retail, and hopefully turn a profit. Well, that week we tripled our money. We went back and we bought a couple pallets, tripled our money.
What was the product?
It was different. It could be trash cans that were stainless steel. You could find Dyson vacuums. You could find anything. It really could have been.
But when you opened the veil, it was all of one item, obviously.
No.
Oh no, it was just a smorgasbord.
Man,
For the most part, it was one of each item.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it's a pallet of just like what is in this thing, and you don't know if it's anything that's going to sell because you don't know what you just bought. But
which I guess it's harder to sign one of each thing in a bunch of one thing, probably, right?
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah. Well,
So how long did it take you? So what was? Tell me a few of the items that were on there.
One of the items we found was
Because this is an awesome story.
Well, one of the items we found was really cool, and I didn't know what the hell it was. I'm looking at this thing, and I'm like, "What is this?" And Dad's like, "This is cool, man." And plumbers use it to see underground. Okay,
Yeah.
So it was like a $1,400 device. It was brand spanking new, and we put it on Facebook. I think we sold it for like $800 to a plumber. Boom.
Yeah, and it's like a sonar gun that you put a device in a pipe that's underground. The plumber would push that through that pipe, and he would use this on top of the ground outside, and that would pick up that device and tell him exactly where that pipe.
What was retail on it?
1,400. You know what was
And
really
you sold it for
$8.
What a good deal!
But here's the cool
for both of y'all. That was a win-win situation,
Right
right?
about $5 in it.
Yeah, so when you break down the piece count on the pallet, you may have $5 in that item. You buy a pallet for a couple $100, $300-$400. You look at how many.
There's
pieces
also
you
50-cent items that you have $5 on, right?
well, there could be. So that was a cool item. I think the coolest story is we were at a pallet auction, and I saw a pallet of straws, drinking straws. There was probably 70,000 straws on this pallet.
Right.
And I looked at him. I'm like, let's buy this pallet of straws. Worst thing that's going to happen, we're going to have straws for the rest of our life. And no one bid on that pallet. We got it for $25. So we stopped and ate lunch on the way home, sold most of it to that restaurant, stopped at the gas station, sold the rest of it. We each kept a few boxes of straws each, which lasted us 4 years apiece. And, it was cool stuff like that. You just never knew you were going to come across.
Yeah. So, and how did you go to Amazon and know that I'm going to buy a pallet from your previous job? Obviously.
Well, no, actually, we didn't go straight through Amazon. We went through a third-party warehouse that would buy trucks from Amazon and then sell the pallets by unit. And that's how we were doing it. So we were supporting a local small business that was doing that in our town, and quickly became their biggest customer with the amount of product we were moving.
Nice.
Yeah. Flash forward to getting sick and tired of meeting people out in public and selling out of our trunk in flea markets every weekend. We drove by a little shopping complex, actually looking for an office like this, so people could come meet us and pick up their goods.
Right.
Well, in the meantime, in that complex, we found a retail space that was about 1,000 square feet. It was 800 selling square feet or 7. And, I looked at him, I said, let's just do a store. So we didn't have the money. We were doing really well selling that stuff, but that money goes right back out to pay your bills.
Of course. And buy more stuff.
So we negotiated with the landlord. He was gracious enough to let us get in there and pay the money down. And we opened our store and took a look at each other and we're like, man, this looks like a flea market. And me coming from retail, it just ate me alive. It was not appealing with all the mismatch.
Yeah, it's going to be a thrift store. When
Yep.
you got one of an item, and I don't care how you dress that up, it doesn't look good.
I get it. Yep.
So you can't display one item very good at all. So
Yeah, so we did that, and we did okay. We did all right, but about a year in, a little under that, we decided our name was What a Deal. That's our Facebook Marketplace name, and that's the name we put on the store. And then we realized that no one's going to wear a shirt that says What a Deal, or a hat, or anything. So quickly we decided we needed to rebrand. And I knew that I wanted to use a lighthouse as our icon. That's my mom's favorite thing. I think lighthouses are really neat. He came up with the name Southern Cove. You can tell him how.
Well, I had some friends growing up. And this was a long time ago. I lived in California. A good buddy of mine, his dad owned a bar. And that bar had a name, and it was Pirates Cove. I always remembered that bar. As strange as it is, I think I'd only went there one time with him, but I loved the logo outside, the sign, and I knew that one day, if I ever got into a position, I would want to use that in some way or another. So, we pulled the Cove portion of that. And a lot of the products that we started carrying as we progressed away from the Amazon returns and that sort of stuff, trying to move more into direct retail and, have a store that looked like a store rather than a thrift shop. We carried a lot of brands that carried the Southern name. And so we decided, well, let's use the Southern name. Let's use Cove. Let's put them together, call it Southern Cove.
There you go.
And it worked well.
It did. It actually opened up a whole new world for us for branding. And it's funny that him and I go out, and everywhere him and I go, we see someone either wearing a Southern Cove hat or shirt. I mean, anywhere. It's really neat. I mean, we sell hundreds of hats a month, but all of this stuff is designed, by us in-house. And it's really cool to think that someone would actually want to spend money on something we create. It's really neat. So it's brand awareness.
That is awesome.
Yeah. But COVID happened, right? So that sucked. Everyone was shut down unless you were essential. Obviously, we were not essential. We did everything.
We were essential to us.
To us, yeah. Yeah,
That's funny how that happens, right?
It was real essential.
I am essential.
Yeah,
Don't tell me I'm not essential.
my mortgage company would beg to differ.
Yeah.
I'm very essential. Yeah. So we were selling curbside, just doing whatever we could. Well, the space came open we're in now, in the heart of downtown, which is about a mile and a half from where we started. And we knew that we had to get that space. If we didn't get it, someone else would. And we thought, you know what? If we're already rock bottom, we have $16 to our name. No one is shopping. Let's try to get the space. The worst thing that'll happen is we'll fail, and we'll fail big. But we tried. Well, during the downtime, I created a shirt. I designed a shirt. I called it the Georgia Strong Project, and we pre-sold hundreds of those, and we gave back 100% of the proceeds to local business owners in the area that were suffering through COVID. So we're handing out thousands of dollars in total, and we had $16 to our name when we moved into that spot. It was the best move we ever made. God was good. Flash forward to now, which we've been in that spot about a year and a half, turned us into a multi-million-dollar company, and the rest is history. It's just the outcry of support from people shopping local and wanting to see businesses like ours succeed has just blown us away.
That's awesome. That's all. How big is the space right now that you're in?
And it's about 4,600 square feet.
So it's quite bigger than the other one, yeah.
Yeah, and we own the property. We actually were able to turn around and buy the property from the owner about 8 months ago.
Tell us about the bar. You hadn't talked about the fun part.
Hey, that's the fun part. I'll let you talk about it.
Well, the actual structure of the bar was there in the building. We talked to the owner when we leased it from him. He offered to pull it out, give us more space for the retail items, and we're looking at each other saying, well, no, don't pull that out. Let's see what we can do with it. So the city was shut down. We couldn't do anything with licensing. So basically, the structure just kind of sat there unused for a few months. Yeah. And we had to get in front of the alcohol board and apply for the license. Mm-hmm. And we knew it was going to be a little bit of a weird thing for a retail store to have a bar in it. But
so let me chime in real quick. It was funny sitting with the alcohol board or standing in front of them, and their question was, why do you want a bar in a retail store? They didn't understand what kind of store he was. They couldn't wrap their head around it was a gift and apparel store that wanted a bar. Mm-hmm. So they said, well, why do you want a bar?
Because people like drinking.
Well, yeah, people like drinking. And why should we let you serve, right? So, the response I gave them was because you let Kroger do it. And our Kroger in our town has a bar inside. And it's a grocery store. And I told them the only difference between us and Kroger is we don't sell chicken nuggets. Mm-hmm. So, at that point, they gave us the license, and it just went crazy.
How many people just come up there to have a few drinks?
Well, generally on Friday, Saturday are our two biggest days. Now, of course, we sell every day with the exception of Sunday. And Sunday we can sell, but it can only be packaged to go. You have to take it with you and take it home. But all other days we do sell. Believe it or not, it's turned out to probably the percentage of sales is a good 10% or a little better that we sell in alcohol. Mm-hmm. So we've got an area in the back of the store in front of the bar. We've got a leather couch, leather chairs. We've got 3 different tables with high top tables with high top chairs, stools to sit on.
The bar.
And we've got 5 seating stools in front of the bar. So we can handle probably 20, 25 people.
Nice.
Fairly easy.
Just in that back spot of the store. Yeah.
So you think people come in there, have a drink, and then go grab something to eat locally right there?
Oh yeah, and sometimes they'll have something Ubered in and sit there and eat it.
Oh, nice.
And a lot of times it turns into, let's go to Southern Cove. We call the bar Ship-Faced Pub. So a lot of times it's them going to Ship-Faced to get a drink while they're waiting on their table to get ready.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it works out great. A lot of bar traffic.
And how many? So you were telling me about the slushies before. Tell me where that came about. Obviously, it's a Southern Cove, so it's a slushy type name, and too.
Yeah, we listen to people, and our customers give us a lot of good feedback, and employees give us a lot of good feedback that work with us. And whether it was a customer, or I know one of our employees had mentioned it as well, our store manager is like, you guys really should do like slushies or frozen drinks, And we toyed with it, and finally one day we just bought the units and just expected it to take all summer until the next summer before we were in profit on those. But the third time we turned them on, we were in profit. And, we've sold an astronomical amount of slushies since summer. It's over half the sales of the bar is just in slushies. Yeah.
That's it's amazing that it's an ongoing thing as people like to drink alcohol. I don't know if that's going to change.
Well, I think if they're happy, they drink. If they're sad, they drink. People drink.
They do.
And it's funny, Dad and I we're not drinkers. Although we have a lot of alcohol in that store and we do a lot of tastings before we bring them in. Him and I, we don't drink beer.
Yeah.
Liquor or anything. I mean, we'll sample those slushies though, man. Those are the best things on the planet.
They're good.
You got to
incredible.
quality control them.
They're good. Yeah,
That's
you
right.
do. Have to test them out.
Test them out.
Yeah.
Test them out. What's next?
Okay. Next is we are handful of months away from franchising Southern Cove, which is really big and exciting news that we have not announced publicly up until right this second, but we are on the in the process of trying to employ other entrepreneurs with a model that works, that's lucrative, and it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to make this model tick. There's a lot of moving parts. It's not cookie cutter. Trust me, it's much easier to franchise a sandwich shop. Your ham and turkey doesn't change. Okay, not much. But when you have over 300 and something brands and you're adding new brands all the time, it's always dipping your toes in the water of what's going to work and what the new thing is. So we're going to be looking for people that want to do something on their own. That's just the most fun you could ever have, and employ others as well.
With your pants on.
No, we recommend going assless chaps if you can make that happen.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, how can we get a hold of you? Like website? Can I order offline from you?
So great question. Right now, our POS system, we are looking at either integrating it with our new .com or moving on to a new POS system with different integration. So right now, .com, the name is purchased and on hold. But you can order from us by going to our Facebook or Instagram page. Our tags are at The Southern Cove. You can call the store. We ship all over the country. Just from people seeing stuff that we post online, they call the store, we ring it up, and we ship it to them. So right now, that's the best way to get product in your hands if you're not local.
Nice. Well, we really appreciate y'all coming in. Thank you so much. This was fun. We'll do another one of these in 6 months. See where you are.
That'd be awesome.
And we'll go from there, guys. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Everybody, be kind to each other out there.